Hi, my name is Michelle Ferguson, and I'm the crochet pattern designer of Two Brothers Blankets. Today I'm going to demonstrate how to crochet the hood onto the Dutton hoodie. This will apply to both the children's and adult sizes. I am working on a children's size hoodie right now. You can find this pattern on Ravelry and Etsy, and also the adult sizes can be found in my book, Crochet Makes for Men. So let's go ahead and get started. All right, I have crocheted my hood already, which is just a big rectangle, and it tells you to fold it in half with the wrong side facing out, and then to sew the top together to create the hood. So I've done that. I've actually just slip stitched for this one, but you can sew or slip stitch. Also, a little tip that I learned recently was if you are slip stitching or sewing, if you kind of skip over the corner and go into the side edge instead of working just directly into the corner, it will make your hood not have so much of a point. So as you can see, it's a little less pointy here. So this is the right side of my work. Basically, it's going to go like this, and it'll be sewn around the sweater. So let me grab the sweater and I'll show you how to do that. All right, after you've sewn your hood, you're going to want to attach it to the sweater. So what you're going to do is, depending on what size, I'm working a size 16. So I have 28 stitches across here. I'm going to count halfway, which would be 14, and then mark the next stitch with a stitch marker. And this is the point that I'm going to start sewing at. So we're going to take our hood and get it all set up here. Let me get some yarn and my yarn needle. And then we are going to start sewing. So you're just going to grab a yarn needle and a long piece of the yarn that you're using. And you're going to take this bottom corner right here, this first corner of your hood on the bottom rows, and you're going to start sewing. So I'm going to line that up with that stitch that the stitch marker is in, and attach. But I'm going to use the mattress stitch for this, just because that's what I prefer and like, but you can use whatever you prefer. And you're just going to sew all the way around that neckline. The hood, the bottom of the hood, around to the neckline, all the way around. So I'm going to do that now. And then I will show you how to do the trim and the drawstring and how to sew in that drawstring as well. All right, so I have sewn on my hood. As you can see, it's all just sewn on to the bottom around the neckline. And now I'm ready to do the trim. Okay, so with your hook, you're going to join your yarn to the front of the hood at middle of sweater where stitch marker was placed. So I've still got my stitch marker here. I'm going to join my yarn to that stitch, that front stitch, first stitch of the front of my hood. Whoops. And I'm going to chain one. Okay, so it says to do your single crochets evenly around the front of your hood, and you're going to end up on the other side at the front again, because you're working just around the front. Your stitch count's going to vary depending on what size you do, but you're just going to do your row of single crochet all the way around the front of your hood. All right, I have completed that first row of our trim. So now for rows 2 through 6, we're just going to chain 1 and turn. So now I'm working on the wrong side here, and I'm going to single crochet in each stitch around or across the entire front. And I'm going to chain and turn and do that for a total of 6 rows to create that trim. And what that trim is for is to sew over your drawstring so you can have your drawstring on your hoodie. So I'm going to go ahead and do 1 single crochet in each stitch across for rows 2 through 6. All right, I have completed my trim, the 6 rows of single crochets all the way across the front. And I have left a really long tail for sewing when I fastened off. And then I have also went ahead and made my drawstring, which is just single crochet, or you can do a foundation single crochet row. All right, so what we're going to do is we're going to take our drawstring and lay it in that, right at the edge of that trim that we did, right in the middle edge area. And we're going to fold it, our trim, over the drawstring like so. We're kind of making a tube. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab some yarn with my yarn needle and get that started, sewing that together. So I'm sewing my row 1, my row 6 to my row 1 to create like a tube for the drawstring. So I'm just gonna kind of find the yarn underneath here, and for this I'm doing more of like a whip stitch. I'm grabbing the yarn under and going back up and pulling through, because I don't want the whole thing to be sewn. It's got to be hollow in there like a tube so that this can also move if it needs to. So I'm just finding that row 1, grabbing some yarn, and then pulling it up. I'm inserting and you want to make sure to check too every so often. Check your drawstring, make sure it can move. Make sure you didn't accidentally get hold of it when you're sewing. And then you're just going to do that all the way around there we go, all the way around the hood. All right, I have sewn all my tube, the trim all around. I got some ends to weave in, but I've got my drawstring inside that trim and I can adjust it how I please. I just put little knots at the end for this one right now. I may add something later, but you could always add, I think for my other one I did some wooden beads. You could do like toggles, whatever, on the ends of your drawstring, or just knot them and leave them as is, however you prefer. But that is how you attach the hood and create the trim and drawstring for your Dutton hoodie. I hope you found this helpful. If you have any questions, let me know in the comments. Please like and subscribe to my channel, and have a wonderful day. Thanks for watching.